Democrats will do what everyone in this nation but the Republican Party leadership and their pundits do they're going to do. They double down again. They're going to push through every single one of their programs because they figured, well, the people that lost their seats, they're going to jump out. No. Basically, they're pissed off that they lost their seats, so they're going to support the Democrats. So it's going to be a bloody disaster. Everybody knew it but the Republicans, though, which is why the Republicans are on the way out. Democrats shutting down Fox News would be the best for this nation. They would like the FCC to investigate Fox News. Well, because it's basically the right composes 5% of the news in this nation, and that 5% is too much for the Democratic Party to handle. It's unreal. And then Obama, after failing in his trip to Asia, now tries it again in Europe. Well, yeah, he's America's greatest foreign policy president, as they have referred to him. I mean, he's going over there. He's going to convince them to do everything that he told them not to do because he didn't think it was needed. So it's not likely to go well either. And here's a good one. It's all over for the Republicans as the nation rallies once again to Obama's anti-business, higher taxes, and massive government expenditures. You know, at least that's what they're saying today. That even though the Democrats lost, it wasn't a loss for the Democrats. It was a gain for the Democrats because it shows the people are rallying around Obama. White House sees an opportunity for immigration reform and lame duck Congress. Now, they're basically because the Democrats are going to push it through. I mean, it doesn't make any difference if you came to this country legally. If you're hard-working, it's unimportant because Obama wants the illegal alien vote in order to keep the Democrats in office. I mean, they had people proudly telling people that they were illegal aliens campaigning for people this year. I mean, it gets to be sort of ridiculous. Health expert recommends sanctuary for Representative Rangel. I mean, did anybody think they're going to do anything serious? They're going to tell him that he was a naughty, naughty person. And if Nancy Pelosi comes back to power just like she figured she's going to, Rangel's going to be put right back in charge again. We have Obama says SOGM stock sell validates his policy. Well, let's see. He basically destroyed the company, destroyed the bondholders, give tons of money to the unions, sold huge chunks of it off to the Chinese, and won't tell anybody where the $20 billion, who bought the stock in the company for $20 billion. And then the stock is in a state of collapse right now because the business isn't there to justify the amount of money that was spent. So I guess under Obama, that's a perfect justification. Another unforeseen consequence of Obamacare, the vending machine is likely to go under now. Industry is likely to go under because of the new rules. Those little packages and stuff in the vending machines, they now have to print the contents of everything that's in them, so you can tell whether they're fattening or not. And because there's going to be too much packaging, they're not going to be able to put the stuff in the vending machines. Basically, it also includes the little bubble gum things you get, all the little things you stick a quarter in, get candy out of. That's all up for the deals. Oh, and then we got the latest one. 700,000 seniors dumped out of their program this week, healthcare program, because the government says the government promised them they wouldn't have to change doctors. Unfortunately, because they're not being paid, the doctors are going to have to dump the program. So 700,000 more, and other consequences of Obamacare. Of course, if you read the fine print, you'd have known it was there anyway. But let's see what we got. A trove of unusual fossils holds clues to an ancient global warming event caused by George Bush, big business, and Republicans. Even though the event happened 40,000 years ago, it doesn't make any difference because, as you've been told by the Democrats, only man can cause global warming. So therefore, man had to have been responsible for the death of all these animals. And here's what I really like. Patriotic millionaires issue plea to Obama, save our nation by raising our taxes. The only problem with this is that everybody that's signed on to save our nation, all were supporters of Obama. And they're all getting tax breaks from the government. So if they kill the one thing, they're getting in another direction. Then you got the never-ending Natalie Holloway story. Officials request their dental records. I mean, the odds of finding a jaw on a beach 5 years later is like slim and none. But you got to bury your case sooner or later. You got to just give up. Air Force considering Congress are called to DTSA agents. Well, the government has already said that you can dish the agents, but you can't dish the government program. So it doesn't make any difference because you got two choices. You either go through the body scan or become a Muslim. I think that's probably Obama's plan, is for everybody to become Muslim to begin with. Now, even if it isn't fair to those that came here legally, that's too bad. That was what one of the congressmen said there last night, that we have to do something about the 32 million or so, which just about happens to be the same amount of people that are adding to the health care thing, that we can't let this go on, and the only way to solve the problem is to give them a path to citizenship, which basically is amnesty, folks. Nobody else gets that, but another good one. Democrats, raising retirement age hurts poor. Well, since raising retirement age doesn't hit for about 50 years, most of these people aren't even working yet. So they're in grade school right now. But so that's going to hurt them massively. Idaho scientists find new seismic fault in the Rockies. Well, if you look long enough, you're going to find a seismic fault virtually everywhere. It's no big news. Basically, jobless benefits to expire as Congress debates tax. Well, because you're giving people money, there's no incentive to go out to look for work if they keep giving you money. But John Soros, time for Obama to go, and then Leon Podesta today wrote the only way that Obama can stay in office is to basically use dictatorial powers and bypass the will of the people. Even though the 20th Amendment of the Constitution directly prohibits ignoring the election and doing as you choose to do. Irish headed towards ballot bill out, Portugal next in line. Well, basically everybody that has socialist governments are all collapsing. You can't pay for everything. As Margaret Thatcher said, socialism ends when the last person has the last dollar they have taken from them. GOP governors, they're going to have deep budget cuts are coming because you can't raise taxes when nobody has any money. It's sort of like they keep trying to sell automobiles that nobody can afford to buy, and I figure the reason nobody will buy any automobiles is because they don't look hot. No, they don't have any money to buy it. The same reason they don't have any money to pay higher taxes because they're not working. GOP fails to cut off the NPR public funding. Democrats think that the problem is they don't have enough funding, so they're going to try to give them more to them. Chamber of Commerce won't seek Obama's defeat in 212. Well, since they didn't want him in 2-8, why in the world would they want to support him in 212? The Gitmo trial in New York spurs fresh debate over detainees. Well, let's see, the guy, they charged him with basically probably reckless throwing a bomb in a building that was owned by the government, and it just happened to kill 288 people. Well, that's supposed to be a crime, but not according to the jurors now. Arizona boycott over immigration sees very little results. Well, because the majority of the people in this country support the immigration stance, they don't support the government stance. Bernanke hits back at critics of bond buying. Well, other than the fact that it didn't work, it didn't increase the worth of the bonds, it decreased the worth of the bonds, it did decrease the worth of the dollar. It's not going to help anybody higher, but he said you have to give it time. Well, yeah. Like Obama team gets okay to pay Biden debt. Well, he lost the election, which they thought they should have been a gimme on. So now they're paying to put him back, and they're going to pay all his bills. Dell's profit tops expectations, but they said the margins aren't going to be what they thought they were because they're having to change their structure of business. So that's never good. Tech stocks are not doing as well as people say they are. Sweden to arrest the guy in charge of WikiLeaks over rape charges. He says the United States government's responsible for this, and he didn't do anything. Like Obamacare mandate likely to break the states, well, because it's going to add billions of dollars to every state's budget that they don't have. And that single-payer system is never going to happen now because even though the Democrats control stuff, they can't raise the money to pay for it. Let's see, foreclosing on the economy. That's basically what's happening right now is the Obama administration have decided to kick the teeth out of everybody. money bundle marked for the Animal Kingdom. 12 means you can remember a time then there was no never-ending presidential campaigns.